Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Appreciated. Much appreciated. Okay, so I invite you if you would like to say a hello to everyone. If you wish to, you can unmute yourself and say a hello.
Hi, I'm Nalini. I'm from London, UK. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Ravi Gupta. I'm from Indore, MP.
Welcome, Ravi.
2 minutes, 8 minutes more.
Hello, I'm Prem Kumar. I'm from Varanasi.
Welcome, Prem Kumar.
Hi. Good morning. I am Devasi Gamani from Chennai.
Okay, welcome, Devasi Gamani.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, Nisha this side from Punjab, India.
Welcome, Nisha.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, myself Hemalata from Hyderabad.
Welcome, Himalata. Is this your first session, Himalata?
Yeah, this is my first session.
And who all? I think Prem and Ravi also is the first session.
Yes, first session.
Okay. It's a privilege. Welcome. And Devasi Gamini, have you also attended earlier, or it's also a first session?
Yeah, no, this is the first session.
Okay. And then we have Soja. Can we have a? My request is if you would switch on your, if you could keep your cameras on. The intention is that, yeah, if we have our cameras on, we can have more interactive session. I also get to experience the back and forth information receiving and information transmitting, so it becomes very natural. You're not able to unmute? Okay, hold on. Try this. I have sent you a request to unmute. Just click on this button and you will be able to unmute. Okay. Yeah, I have. We have Manju also joining. That's good. Devasi Gamini, great.
Yeah.
Having a video really, it makes it very interactive. It's my experience so far. I have received at most to the maximum when I had my cameras on and I was able to put full attention. That's the maximum we can have. This is the second best, after face-to-face sessions. Welcome, Manjuji. Welcome to the session. Welcome, Shabia. Welcome. Now I'll request you to switch on your camera if you can. Okay. So let's begin without any further delay. If you all agree, shall we do a quick meditation? 10 minutes meditation.
Yeah.
We'll do a meditation. I propose to do meditation on Advaita. That's from our ancient Vedantas, and we focus on nothingness or zero. So it's also called as the absolute self. We focus on our absolute self, which is an unmanifested self. So if if you all agree, then show me a thumbs up. So we go with the consensus.
Yes.
We do it?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay. All right. So I would request you to, I'll keep a watch on the time and we intend to complete by 1 o'clock India time, whatever time it is, 1.5 hours as per your time from now. So I would request you to find a place where you can sit comfortably. Okay, preferably if it's a flat surface on the floor or on the bed. Even if you have a seat where you can cross your legs, because the intention is that you sit in a way so that you can drop your complete consciousness. I mean, your awareness, your alertness, your attention in that sense. And then you don't have to, in the back of mind, it should not occur to you that I'm going to fall down. Balance. When we sit on a chair, we feel that we might fall down. So I just want to rule that out for all of you. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. I'm going to be starting off then. Yeah. Prem Kumar, Ravi, we good? We good? Prem Kumar is not settled. He needs a moment. Do that. What about Hemalata and Soja? Okay, Soja has given a thumbs up. Hemalata's thumbs up, and Nisha also. Yeah, I think she already has given. All right. So we are good. Prem Kumar, we are going to start. Okay. Okay. So, friends, what we are going to do, I'm going to give you a little bit of preamp, a prelude to what we are going to do. So, we are meditating on nothingness, or you can say infinity. Okay. What essentially it means is that we go back to the origin, the genesis of everything. And the moment when everything was created, what I'm talking about is the whole of the cosmos. In Hindi, you can call it a Brahman. So the whole cosmos, the creation of the cosmos occurred from some of the texts around 13 billion years ago. And I'm not here to, dispute that. Whatever time it occurred, around 13 billion years ago, or whenever it occurred, until that moment, okay, you can consider that this as a line, a demarcation of that moment. Until that moment, there was nothing. The aspect of physicalness, the aspect of a space, of time, of form did not exist. We did not have anything which was manifested. There was nothing manifested. There was no space and time. There was no form. Nothing was there at that point of time. Okay. So, which means that before this time, it was a state of nothingness. It was a state of complete emptiness. Now, do you or me know what does it mean? I don't know that. We don't know that. But can we experience it? We are going to do that today. That is our intention, that we're going to experience it today. Get a small glimpse of it, a taste of it. And how do I say this, that we can get a glimpse of it, is also because we are nothing but part of that creation. You, me, each one of us, we are part of God. And when God decided that he wants to come out of nothingness for whatever reason, and we have our own theories about it, but when he decided that we want to create form, at that point of time, he dissipated into multiple forms. Every single being, whether it's a rock or a stone or a wood or food or plants or whatever, we are the highest form of consciousness of that same consciousness of God, right? So at that point of time, he created this universe, and from him, so we were the ones, we are the same consciousness of God. So we are the part of God. We are that. Okay. From us, this whole cosmos got created. Now, if we can attempt, I'm using these words carefully because I understand what I'm saying. If we attempt to go beyond our mind, the ghost or the geist of the whole molasses of the whole of our thought form, whole of our delusion, of our projection of the world that we have, everything exists right now through the projection of our mind. But I'm just here to tell you that mind is a smoke screen between our true self and us. It's a very, very important tool, but it's important tool to live a physical di- dimension of life. Okay. When we go beyond that, we are not just mind, body, and soul. We are beyond mind, body, and soul. We are consciousness. And consciousness is the highest form of being. I'm not making a hierarchy between consciousness and physical form, but that is also a part of ourself. That is our empty self. And this is our many self, or you can say it as oneness self, or the form of physicalness. We are going to be touching upon that aspect of us which we have not been able to, or we would have touched it in glimpses in the past. So for us to do that, we are going to go beyond the the barrier which is our mind, and we will do that together today. So we will attempt to do it. So even if you are unable to experience it, continue to listen to my voice, and eventually I will stop speaking. Continue to again and again keep going back to that moment. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be saying few words. I'm going to be requesting you to focus on nothing. I will ask you to focus on no form, nothing, to have nothing, to know nothing, to be no one. Okay. And I'll be asking you to keep dropping your mind. So the easiest way to drop your mind is to imagine that there is a beggar, and if you do not want to make eye contact with if you don't want to entertain a beggar, you don't make an eye contact. Irrespective of how many times the beggar comes in front of you, you do not make an eye contact. So to say, as an analogy, you do not give your attention to it. I choose not to give my attention to. Similarly, I choose not to give my attention to my thoughts. So in this case, our mind is the beggar, and we choose not to pay attention to that right now, only for brief moment. Trust me, for this small 10 minutes, and keep dropping ourselves, keep dropping our mind, keep dropping our thoughts, keep dropping everything. Even if you feel that God has come to you and he's trying to talk to you, drop that also. Keep dropping, keep dropping, keep dropping, keep dropping everything that comes into nothingness, and keep being present to nothingness. Okay. So that's our agenda today, and we're going to start right away. If you have a question, you can ask me now. But I request you to do not unmute during the meditation. It's a small meditation, and I really hope it's impactful for all of you. If you have a question, please ask me right now about the meditation.
Like in general meditation, we focus on our breath.
Hmm.
Here we can do that, or nothing to focus upon.
What you will be doing is you will be focusing on nothing, and
Nothing.
you will you will stop having any relationship with the content of the consciousness. No relationship with the content of consciousness, because before the existence of the universe there was nothing. There was no form, there was no you or me, there was no identity, there was nothing, there was no knowledge, there was no being. That wasn't there, right? So there was no being, there was no knowledge, there was no physicalness, there was not no having of any form. Okay. So that's what it is. Any more questions? So this is a state which is before the sleep state. Okay. So we are not sleeping. Sleeping state is the delta state, but we are going to deep alpha states, the lowest form of, or the most deepest form of alpha. There are 3 levels of alpha. It's just the moment, or you can call it also theta, a state before sleep state. So while you do this, you must remember that you are not sleeping, but you are attentive, you are present. You can be present. You have to tell that to yourself. I'm here to tell you, while we can be present, we can go into a deep state, which is as deep as a state of sleep, but we will not be sleeping. We will be conscious. We will be alert in that sense. In the sense, we will be present. Okay. So it's going to be starting. It might be a challenge, but just keep dropping and keep following my voice, and you will experience nothingness. Are we all good? Shall we start? No questions? So I take it as a no question. And here we begin now. So focus on yourself, be present to your body, and relax. Be with yourself, completely be with yourself. Be still and relax. Continue to be with yourself. Be still and be relaxed. Continue to be with yourself and relax. Relax completely. Wholly. Mr. Prem, can you please sit down? Be still. Be with yourself. Continue to be with yourself and relax. Be present. Pay attention. Be present and pay attention. Now, I ask you to have no relationship. Drop your relationship to the content of the consciousness. Just like the shore of the ocean has ripples, your mind has ripples, thoughts. Imagine you're going deep inside to the middle of the ocean and you're just submerging inside the abyss, inside the infiniteness of the ocean. Drop every single element of any thought. Drop all the relationship with the content of consciousness. Have nothing, completely nothing. Know nothing at all, nothing at all. And be no one. Have nothing. Be present, pay attention, and have nothing. Know nothing. And be no one. Have an unconditional relationship with the divine, the trust of the divine, that all is well. Allow yourself, permit yourself to be in nothingness, completely surrender to the infinite, the divine. Trust the divine unconditionally. All is well. Have nothing. Know nothing. Be no one. And as you get a thought, allow that thought to drop. Keep repeating with your own mind, inside your mind. these three words: have nothing, know nothing, be no one. I will be on mute. I am keeping tap of time. Continue to be in this bliss of nothingness. Okay, gradually come back to your consciousness. Be present to your body. Try to feel your body, your fingers of your toe, of your hand. Try to twiddle them. And whenever you're comfortable, you can open your eyes. I hope it was a refreshing experience for you. Okay. How was it for all of you? Okay, Ravi, got it. Yes, Nalini ji.
Yeah, it was a challenge because to be in a state where you've never been before, nothingness. You still have to be yourself to be in the nothingness, isn't it? So that was a challenge. So am I a particle floating in the nothingness, or what am I? Was there a particle there ever, or there was nothing? That's the challenge, yeah? Yeah, but it was good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's supposed to be the simplest and most challenging meditation ever existed in the human evolution of all the masters, the gurus, and ever, and rightly so, because how can a physical body experience nothingness, emptiness? And we are talking about a state when we did not exist. Yeah, I agree. But this is our mind talking right now, and it has no interest in this exercise. And we only know our mind. We do not have an existence beyond our identity. So it's a very conflicting state to be in. But with practice, there is a tangibility to it. And how much ever I speak from my experience will only be my experience. And great masters who have experienced it would be talking about it from their experience. But it is only for us, I believe so. It is only for us to actually implement it and experience it. Unless we do it, um, um, all the words are great to read, to understand, but it doesn't transform anything. It doesn't shift anything. So that's the whole objective. Um, but by the way, doing the nothingness meditation, I will just share one small. Uh, there's a teaching from Buddha. Buddha said that when a person can experience a state of nothingness, a state of absolute, and at the same time, he can experience a state of physical form. That is the we call it as relative form. So absolute and relative. And when one can experience the absoluteness and the relativeness, and then make no differentiation between them, that's a state of enlightenment. From the last many hundred, many thousands of tens of thousands of years, especially the eastern part of the world has been very much grounded in the aspect of this absoluteness. We have very powerful, saints, sages, and great ones, masters who have meditated on nothingness. Uh, However, in the last very short period of time, maybe around 200 plus years, people have started to understand how to integrate this nothingness with the relativeness. So essentially what Buddha was saying is that if we can exist in a state of nothingness, however we interact with the world through our relativeness, because I cannot speak, I cannot objectify and rationalize things without using my brain. I cannot drive a car, I cannot feel sorry, or I cannot feel happy, or I cannot do things without the mind. It is very important tool. But is that the end of our existence? No. There is so much which is beyond that existence, which we do not have access to. I admit we don't have. But we can, if we move beyond this whole screen that we are living of mind, the whole identity that we have, because we are not physical being. Nalini, Akash, Ravi, we are not just what we are listening, what we are, the way where we are born, our hands are, physical body. We are not only that. It's not, it doesn't define us. It's not a complete definition, though it is a valid definition. So for us to go beyond that definition, we must move away from the elements which created that definition. So that is why we go beyond the creation of everything. We go to the state of another aspect of us, which is equally important. And that is when we are able to look at the both sides of the coin, the emptiness and the manyness. And that is when we can experience the life fully. When we start to feel that, you will experience, whenever you start to feel it, there is a new level of freshness, so closely related to, just to make an analogy, so closely related to a small child who is less than 4 or 5 years old, a 2-3 year old child. There's a different wonderment in the child. Yeah, the child looks with the eyes of curiosity, and wonderment on everything that the child looks at everything. And that's a state, we and that's the state where that's the state when we learn. It's a state of unknown, first of all, and being in that state allows us to experience the depth of reality. It alters, I cannot explain it. It's beyond words, but you can experience it every time. And the best part is that we have access to it. Okay. And when we start experiencing that, then we will come to know the tangibility of it, that it exists. And when we continue to do it more and more, we start to understand the limitedness of the physical aspects of us, and the vastness of the absoluteness of us, and how we can use that absoluteness, the vastness that we have, which is the nothingness. From that state, how can we use that in our own daily lives? So I want to make it simple. It's accessing the emptiness, which allows us to bring forth more to life, to bring forth things which we our mind cannot allow us to experience it. You will have to experience it to really believe it. I think that's all I had to share. Does anybody want to Nalini ji, do you have any other question? Is it making sense?
Yes.
A
Thank
little
you.
bit.
Yes.
It cannot make sense fully unless we experience it, but I'm trying. I earnestly, I'm trying. It's very difficult to mix. It's very, even if there is a master who's talking about emptiness, it's not enough to explain to anybody, because it's words. Probably because eventually I am also realizing that I'm using words to express something which cannot be so very well defined. And at the same time, my experience is my experience. It cannot be entirely same that you get, but we connect to the same source. And when we start to connect to the same source, you will experience the oneness of everything. I promise, I have experienced it, the oneness of everything. It's not that I can accept everything. I'm not at that stage where I can accept people being so unkind and being in a very uncalled for ways. But I have built a little bit capacity where I'm able to understand it and maybe allow some aspect of it and then accept it. So that's all I wanted to say. Yeah. Any other questions about the meditation? So Manju Rai, quite peaceful, yes, challenge to drop everything, but at the end I can feel dull pain in brown chakra. Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for sharing. So how does this balance the karma? Well, very nice question. Yeah. Yeah. Well, tell me, if I were to ask you, how would being in the state of unmanifested balance the karma? How would being in the state of no form, no thought, no physical element, no time and space, no manifestation will balance the karma? What do you think? You can unmute. Uh, is Manju Rai, Manju Chabra? Anything? Yeah, correct. You can unmute and speak. Yeah, it's a valid point. See, because we are not creating a karma. Being in the state of absolute, the creation of karma stops. There is
So,
no karma being added
creation of
when
karma,
you.
so the creation of karma stops for those 15 minutes when I am in that state of nothingness, or does this state then carry on for the rest of the day? That's one observation. The second is I may be having some propensity for certain actions, for certain thoughts, and that may be multiplying my karma. So how does this affect that part? I mean, my soul is born with that propensity. It has something to neutralize, something to learn in this lifetime. So how is my learning happening?
So for the second part, Manju Rai, I will request you if you can switch on your camera. It's a humble request to all of you, but feel free based on your situation and wherever you are. If it's appropriate, please do switch on. That's a request. So for the second part, Manjuji, I will answer your question during the course of the session. But for the first part, yes, the answer is yes. We stop creating a karma when we are in the state of absoluteness, because in that state we are actually completely surrendered. You, when you start experiencing that nothingness, you will feel yourself that there is no contribution that you're adding to it. You're not adding anything to the creation of the universe, because you're not present. So there is no addition of karma at that point of time. That point of time, during that period of meditation, there is no addition of karma. No karma gets created at that point of time. However, beyond that 15 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever we do creates karma. Every single step that we take, small thought that we have, it creates karma. Okay. So that's answer to your first question. For answering your second question, I will answer your second question because we have things which I will be explaining, which will address this question, and then we will revisit if your answer was whether you were able to get your answer or not. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Even for those 15 minutes, most of the time we do not experience absoluteness or nothingness. So till the time we experience nothingness or absoluteness, you will come to know Ravi when that experience comes. Till the time we experience nothingness or absoluteness, it doesn't the neutralization, or you can say the karma is still being because when we are in the when we are in the meditation state and we are contemplating something is contemplated. I don't know. I know my thoughts. I don't know your thoughts. Somebody could be in the meditative state, but they might be thinking about their job. They might be thinking about something which is unpleasant sometimes, or pleasant, irrespective. But when they are thinking, there is a element of karma which is added to it. But I'm here to tell you that we should not worry about that. I'm not here to tell you that we should not worry about, like we tell a child that, beta, don't worry about the light in the room, or don't worry about how your teacher is speaking, but focus on getting more deeper into it. So I'm here to tell you that we continue to put the earnest effort. Now, there is something that I will share with you in the session, which will also help you to feel more confident, spiritual confidence. But a little bit to answer a question, that when we are making an earnest effort towards the deep consciousness, the consciousness is also equally making an effort to connect to itself, to make it present to itself. Okay, it is also making, and the divine loves us more. Okay, now there are so many things that I'm saying which can be of question, and they could be a point of for the sake of argument or for the sake of clarification. It could generate a lot of question and answer. But please park your questions, because the thing is that we must start with the karma steps. I want to explain you something more about I have to share certain things about karma. And I promise you that almost these types of questions will get addressed while we are discussing about the karma session now. Okay. So that's what I wanted to say to you. And when you're present here for that particular time, whatever 1 hour we are left with, be open. Be open. Be here with an open mind and open heart, because these two elements are very, very important. Okay, very important. For this period of time, come with a space of complete openness of your heart, of your mind. Essentially, you can also make yourself understand that you're coming from the space of unknown. When we are coming from the space of unknown, for this particular moment, let us drop that whatever we know. Then there will be something that we will learn. I always learn listening to the same lectures, listening to the same information when I come from the state of unknown. So there is something always there to learn new. Okay, is that okay, Ravi? For the time being, okay. So can we start? I would like to share a little bit about today's topic, which is karma. Okay, I'm sure we all know our knowledge regarding. We all have our understanding about karma from the whichever background that we come from. We do understand something about karma. But for any of you who don't understand what does it mean, it is just a meaning of cause and effect. Everything has it's a universal law. Scientifically also it is proven. Every action has a equal and opposite reaction. So this is a law of the universe, a law of cause and effect. All right, yeah. With that, let me just begin. So there are a few very high level points which we must keep in our mind, which are the you could say them as some pillars of understanding about karma. One of the pillar is free will. Now the free will was given to human being. It wasn't always there, and it's a very double-sided sword, and it has been misused all the time. Because many thousands of years ago there was no free will, and that was the golden age. Even within the golden age, the free will had started, but many thousands of years ago, when there was no free will, and when the the beings on the planet Earth, and let's talk about that. People, they were living as a angels, like angels live. The physical body was more like an etheric body. There was no such hardcore physicalness, and there was no free will. Like there was nothing called as negativity. Everything was in singularity. It was absolute. Nobody knew the opposite of love, which is hate. Nobody knew the opposite of abundance, which is lack. Nobody knew the opposite of joy, which is sorrow. Nobody knew the opposite of maybe you can call it love, fear. So nobody knew all that. Nobody knew what is shame. These guilt, these did not exist. These experiences did not exist. In the last last session, I had explained one of the fall of the golden age, and you're most welcome to visit that session. That session also depicts the nature of fall of golden age. It has happened many times. So that is when we start to experience duality. So free will was given to human being because it was a request made by a lot of beings on the planet, and of course they were existing in a very high state, just like angels, and they were asked, they requested to Father Mother God that they want to experience free will and do things in a different way. And when it was given, it was misused, all right, and misused, and that is the source of creation of karma, bad karma, I would say. Now free will was a gift which was given for being, to all the sons and daughters of God. It was a gift to all the sons and daughters of God, and it is a pivot point which assists us to create a good or a bad karma. Yeah, that's point number one. Pillar number two, or second point, is karma is not a punishment. Many a times people relate to karma as a punishment, because in the Hindu text, and through the understanding of the Hindu text, I would use this word. And I know only about two such books or texts in the Hindu text, as well as in the Old Testament of Bible, which is before Christ. In the Old Testament, which was the Moses age, it has been written very harshly that God created a lot of, and I will talk about it. God was a lawgiver, and He created 10 commandments. They were very strong. Thou shalt not do, and all that. Okay, thou shalt not speak unkind words. Thou shalt not have any other god before thyself. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And these are very strong, tough commandments which were made. And I'm talking about the Bronze Age, which is basically more than 4,000 years ago, and that is coming from the Old Testament. And from the Hindu pretext, we have been reading that the karma, to balance the karma, we need to go through a lot of lifetimes. 84,000, 84,000. Manju ji, can you switch on the unmute?
Yes, it's a Yunis, 84,000 Yunis.
So 84,000 births. After having 84,000 births is the time when we get the birth of a human body. So I'm just telling you something which is old, and I want to repeat one thing here before I proceed, because our mind will be juggling right now. Okay, it happened with me, but these teachings are from ascended masters. I am not. Please don't just hear me and create some kind of perception that I'm telling you something, and how do I speak all that. I can't challenge the old pretexts from the texts and from the books and all that. Okay, and so much of our knowledge is available in our Hindu books and Bible, so many places. I mean, we learn through so many ancient teachings. So I'm not here to challenge anything, but yes, I am sharing you the knowledge of ascended masters. And ascended masters' knowledge is the highest knowledge, highest order of teachings available on the planet Earth. And it has been there from eons. Eons means lakhs and lakhs. it cannot be accounted for. So many years, but it's not there in the texts for very obvious reasons, because it was misused and it will be misused, and that is why it was not kept in the texts. So it has been there with us. We had lost the touch to it for some time when the last golden age fell around when the fall of Atlantis. Now, a couple of 100 years ago, it has been reintroduced. So this knowledge is coming directly from ascended masters through various messengers. And I've been talking about that in earlier lectures, but today that's not the agenda or the topic of discussion. So please hear this information, and all this knowledge that we are talking, this they cover a lot of religions. But religion is a space where it is confined to its own boundary. But this teaching, the spiritual teaching, it doesn't have any boundary. It cuts through all the religions. Even they, they might become subsets to it, but their knowledge is still limited. Many places which I can quote have the informations have been curbed from the books of religions, and that information was curbed for certain reasons, like from Bible and from various texts. And I'm going to be sharing the things which probably you would not have heard, and you probably feel challenged about. But as you promised me, be here with an open mind and an open heart, and be present to the teaching right now, and then let's see where it goes. I can share the truth which we know through the ascended masters, and that's what I just wanted to add before I speak further. So coming to the point where a Hindu text has 84,000 births before we can get a human birth, and Old Testament had such harsh commandments, they made us feel that we will never attain moksha, or so to say ascension, because this journey is almost impossible to climb. Almost. So in reality, the way human beings are living is they are living with a distant relationship with karma, and about the real fact that one day we will actually complete the cycle of birth and death. We will complete this cycle, and we will ascend. We'll move to the etheric plane. We will be like ascended masters are. So it's not a good news, but this is how all of us have started to live our lives. We do not hold a great relationship with karma. How we live is we feel that we eventually have to continue to be in the cycle of birth and death. Some of us might have a pipe dream, and pipe dreams are good to have, but they are not enough. Pipe dreams are not enough, right? But I'm here to tell you that we can balance our karmas within one lifetime also, and we can reach to the stage of ascension. And let's talk more about it subsequently. So pillar number 2 is karma is not a punishment, but simply the law of cause and effect. Okay, it is an opportunity to learn the right use of the energy of life. Yeah. Now, pillar number 3, or the point number 3, is the responses are in our hand. For every situation, we have a free will how we can respond. We individually get to decide how we respond to a calamity. Do we ask God's intervention to address the situation, or we choose to create a bad attitude? Okay, very important thing, remember. And the other point is, to fulfill our mission, the reason of being, why we exist, we must take multiple rebirths. People, I did say that we can complete it in one birth, and there are people who reach to that stage when they do that, and that is called as cosmic surgery, or it's called as a fast track mode, and it is possible. We must be ready to do it, and but we must understand in the whole understanding of the concept why people have come to the planet is because they have come to the planet to take lessons. So we must not feel that, number one, to be on the extreme sides of this teaching. Number one, that we just cannot fulfill everything in one life form, so why to worry about it? I will take next birth and deal with it. Right now I want to eat, drink and be merry. Khao piyo mauj karo. not being on the extreme end of this, nor being on the extreme end of the other side, where we say that I must do, if I can do in this lifetime, and complete my cycle of birth and death. And if I can do that, only then I should be doing anything about it. Otherwise, why to do it? These extreme ends are playing with our psychology, because they don't allow us, they don't give us the space, the required enough room to take actions, because all of us need to learn. The learning has to happen. And though some people have reached to a stage where they can accelerate and complete their cycle of life and death, and we all have that potential, but we must also be much abreast with this fact that we will need time. We will need time to be coming here, because to fulfill our mission, we will need time to take multiple rebirths. Apparently, to do so much, sometimes one lifetime is not enough, and some people have done already. They already have a lot of stock of completion of their karma balancing, so that for them this might be a task which might be a challenging one. For all of us it is, but then they might be on the last leg of completion of their balancing of karma. So keep those things in mind. And then the last one is karma dodging. People do certain things, and that is usually a dweller which is present in you, me, and everybody. We have a mixed DNA with the fallen angels. None of our DNAs are pure. Okay, all our DNAs are mixed with the fallen angels. So that is why our life, the biggest fight of our life is with our own self. Remember my words. It's the biggest fight we will ever come across. The only fight that we must worry about, the real fight that we must always stand up to, is the fight against ourselves. That's the biggest fight. So our dweller on the threshold has made our consciousness conditioned in such a way that we always get a trap of getting sidetracked from our true purpose. So with that, it's a common practice. The people do karma dodging. What they do is they donate from one hand, go to a temple, donate money. Or people who are rich, they will build a house for poor, or they do little bigger things. But the notion of doing good happens on one side. On the other side, they're making bad karmas. And I don't need to right now give more examples. All of us have seen this happening. Perhaps we might have done it. So, and we don't need to conflict or oppose or feel offended or anything. We don't need to justify anything. We just need to be present. That's all we need to do. I have done it. I was not mindful. But what human psychology does is it does good karma and then it does bad karma. And there was a stage where we had some fast track tools, which I will teach you, where we could fast track our balancing of karmas. And then people had misused it. They continued to create bad karmas, do wrong things for their own personal benefit, and balance them by doing these fast track methods to balance their karmas. So that's called as karma dodging. It's stealing from your own pocket. So that doesn't work. It actually worked for a beginning time, but then Father, Mother, God, they took away those tools from us which could assist us in balancing our karmas. And then they reintroduced those tools around 250 years ago. And then now we have those tools, but that aspect of karma dodging is actually not possible using those tools. So if we do them, we must remember that nothing is happening. Doing wrong karma and then remembering that we will do some good karma will not compensate at all. So it will not be a balance sheet like our brain thinks it is a balance sheet. It will not. So I just want you to be present to that. It's important for you to know. With that, let's talk about some history of karma. Okay, I'm not going to talk about real long back because I don't have much access to it for the moment, but the information which all of us have access to, I'll only talk about that much. So 4,000 years ago, which was the Bronze Age. It was also called as the Middle Bronze Age, okay, because it continued starting from around 5 to 6,000 years ago, and it continued up till around 3,000 years ago. So this was the Middle Bronze Age, and it was also called as the era of Moses. So there had been three, four different ages. There are many ages, but according to the cosmic clock, every 2,000 years we are entering a new era. So currently we are in the era of Aquarian. We are in the age of Aquarian, and before that we were in the age of Pisces, which was the age of Jesus Christ. And prior to that was the age of Moses, and that is the Bronze Age, which is 4,000 years ago. Now, as I was telling you that God is the lawgiver, and his 10 commandments, which are very strong. Thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not speak the unkind words, thou shalt not have any other God than thyself, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, and so on. So, also, as per the Old Testament, people had to bear or pay back their 100% karma at that time. And there was no dispensation of the Christ self standing between the I am presence and the jiva as an act of mercy. Okay, so I have to tell you what does it mean by the act of mercy and the aspect of no dispensation that I'm telling you. Okay, the standing of the Christ self between our I am presence and our jiva. Okay, what does that mean? I have to tell you that, but I'll tell you in the next part. So then. The next era, which was the Piscean age, also called as the era of Jesus Christ, which happened 2,000 years ago and which finished in just 20 years ago. And that is basically, in that what happened was that the cosmic council. So in the hierarchy of the ascended masters, there are some different beings, okay, who are doing different tasks. They are much busy than us too, in fact. So various levels, like we have archangels, we have mahachohans, then we have Elohims, and then we also have karmic board, and then beyond that we also have cosmic council. The cosmic council is beyond the karmic board. So the cosmic council granted mercy to people on the earth by sending Jesus Christ, okay, to the earth to demonstrate how they can walk the path of Christhood and to teach them how to become like him, so that they can balance their karma. This was an easier and compassionate alternative to the earlier path of godhood, and who was the lawgiver, because in that it was very, very harsh, in the sense it was very tough. So later Jesus took the karma of the planet. So here is where I want to tell you, okay, what do I mean by the middle figure, okay. So many of you have actually seen this chart, but for those of you who have not seen this chart, I'm going to be opening this chart for you, okay, quickly. Hmm. Hmm. So let me know if you see the screen. Can you see the screen? Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So this is the chart which I'm referring to. In the time of Moses, or around before 2,000 years from now, approximately, this did not exist like this. So please omit this Om sign. Consider this as our highest self. This has no religion. This has been used so that people understand. It is to help people to understand. This is our I am presence. It could be replaced with Christ, or it could be replaced with Allah's sign, or Guru Nanak sign, or any other god, Zoroastrian sign. I'm sorry, somebody has unmuted. Banita, yeah, okay, thank you. So please hear me out over here. So this is our I am presence. Okay, the if you can see this, my mouse, this is our I am presence, and this is our highest self, this is our God self, and this is our current self, which is our physical self. Okay, now earlier than the before the Christ age, the Piscean age, we never had this middle figure. We only had this jiva and our I am presence. There was no middle figure. Now what happened was that everything that we did used to come back to us immediately, and we were harshly im- we were harshly impacted, and we were very challenged in terms of taking actions to fulfill our purpose of life, basically to take right actions, okay, so that we can live God qualities. We were really challenged, and uh, people had difficulty in walking the path of the godhood, and many people got discouraged, and the fallen angels, or the plan of the Lucifer and the fallen angels, whatever name you give them, the dark forces, that was becoming more and more prominent. So in the age of Jesus Christ, when Jesus Christ came, he requested the cosmic council to cut some slack for human beings. By saying that, by cut some slack, he requested the cosmic council to introduce a form of this middle form, which is called as our higher self, or the Atma. You can give many names to it, but this became a mediator. Now the job of this mediator was to help human being. Okay, many of you would have this question, so this might get addressed also. But how will this help human being is, if the human beings start to meditate, you will experience it yourself. They will start connecting to their soul. This is our soul here. They will start connecting to their inner child. This is our inner child. They will start connecting to their higher consciousness, and this is our higher consciousness. And what is happening when they do that? Eventually, they understand the reality and they take the right action. Okay, they don't misuse their free will, though the free will has been given to us, but we must use this free will in the direction of the God's will. Sometimes some people say that if only we need to do what God wants us to do, then why do we need to even have a free will? Then we can just do what God wants us to do. Well, it was a request made by when the God created beings from his own part, from his own body. Then they started living different lives here. It was a request given by us to God that we want to have a free will to begin with. So from where it started, and at the same time, now it also was given to us so that we can start to be on the planet and reintegrate with God, and learn basically to be on the planet of Earth, and then practice the God beings, ways of God beings, so that we can experience the fullness of God quality in the human form also. And we can experience the God quality in the human form. At the same time, we can do things which God cannot do while sitting in the absoluteness. He wants us to do things from our hand. This physical body is important. So there is one element in Ascended Master teaching where they have said that the biggest crime that one does is to take their own life or take somebody else's life. Okay, and there was an argument by some people, in that discussion, that there are some more grievous crimes than this too. But God messenger told that no, these are the bigger crimes than any other crimes. They have the hardest of the hardest, I would say, consequences than any other crime that people do, because we are so important. Okay, this will help you to boost your spiritual confidence. We must love ourselves, divine love, not ego love. So this is what when Jesus era came, this was introduced so that it can help us to understand what is our true purpose. So it is like a roadmap, or it's like a GPS system which is guiding you that, okay, this is where you should go, this is where you should not go. And then we add our flavor. Can I become like Manjuji? Can Manjuji become like Ravi? Can Ravi become like Nalini? Or any of us can become like anybody else? No. But we all are different versions of God. So will I practice forgiveness like how Manju is doing it? Or will Manju practice love like Ravi is doing it? Or will Ravi practice giving services like Nisha is doing? So and so forth. No, we will do it in our own flavor, which is okay. But the highest truth remains the same, that we align to the ways of God, the qualities of God. Okay, basically, we align to God's will. So this is why the middle figure has been introduced. Also, when we create bad karmas, they get accumulated. I didn't know it. Our bad karmas are not right now present to us. They are accumulated. They are accumulated in our etheric plane, our lower etheric plane. Lower etheric plane is just before this, or you can consider the middle figure as the place where our lower etheric plane, this you can consider as the upper and the lower etheric plane. Um, lower etheric plane is more close to us, but upper etheric plane is more close to our middle figure, which is our higher self. So our bad karmas gets accumulated in our lower etheric plane, also in our middle figure, which is our higher self. And they are given to us only when we have the capacity to handle them. Have you noticed certain times people get good fortune, and people, they are taken away from doing everything right, but they have been given harsh circumstances? Well, that's balancing of karma. And now this middle figure is helping us so that we don't crash. Can you see, so beautiful, so beautiful it is. It is helping us so that we don't crash, and we only get that much amount of uh, karma, bad karma, that we can balance, that we have the capacity to balance, not more than that. So remember why I'm telling you this, because at any point of time, whatever we get, whether good or bad, is because we can handle it. You, all of us have the capacity to match up to the situation that we are facing. That's the bottom line. Okay. Another thing. Yeah. Uh, this brought tears to my eyes. So when I talk about Jesus Christ, I want you to remember Jesus Christ is not a Christian. It has nothing to do with Christianity. There is no correlation of Jesus Christ with Christianity, because Christianity is a religion which was propagated to fulfill whatever purpose, but the Jesus Christ's messages were for the whole humanity, and they are for the whole humanity, because he is a son of God. And like Gautama Buddha is, like Guru Nanak is, like Muhammad is, like Afra is, like all the ascended masters are, each one of them. So we must know the difference. When somebody says Christhood, especially in this teaching of ascended master teaching, they are not talking about Christianhood. They're not talking about some religion. They're talking about our higher self. We can replace that word of Christhood with Guru Nanakhood, with Krishnahood, with Shivahood, with Muhammadhood, with the Zoroastrian Godhood. We can replace it with whichever God we feel most attached with. Whoever God we feel that we align to them, we should replace it with that, because this is not religion. We're not talking about religion. Okay. So what brought tears to my eyes was this aspect, that Jesus Christ took the karma of the planet Earth on himself up till 2000 years. I'm sure whenever you really resonate with what I'm saying, you really get this message that I'm giving. Okay. You will have tears in your eyes, because Jesus, he took the karma, the impact of the whole karma of the whole planet on himself for 2000 years, which means he became a buffer, or some kind of a cushion So a shock absorber between the humans and their bad karmas. He took a major portion of that bad karma on himself for 2000 years. When he was being crucified, you remember crucifixion happened on his, these are the portions of secret rays, these two places and same places in the feet, and there's a secret chamber of heart. So when you put a nail through it, all the energy, this is a point from where our secret rays work. We have a very strong energy center here and center of our feet, same portions of our feet, and our this below our ribs. These are 5 secret rays points. Okay, so when he was crucified, he was left without the connection with his father, mother, God, and he said that, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Imagine at this moment when he is being crucified, he is asking for forgiveness for those people who are crucifying him. So you will experience this level of compassion that he had, was the love that he had was unbearable. This level of love is unbearable. I cannot imagine to bear this love. This is love, and love can be unbearable. I want to tell you that the teachings of love on the level of secret rays is overwhelming. It's unbearable. Mother Kuan Yin, if we become devotee or student of Mother Kuan Yin, the amount of love that she gives, the amount of mercy she has is unbearable. The compassion she has is unbearable. It's not easy to bear that. It's very fierce. So this is what Jesus his act of bearing the karma for the planet for the 2000 year was a blessing, and the act of introducing the middle figure was a blessing, and that is why it is called as mercy. This was a mercy given to the human being so that it can help us to balance our karma. And this is just a few of the things, and there is something more after that. But in the also what happened in this age, in the Holy Christ self, it serves as a, as I explained you, it serves as the mediator between the jiva and the I am presence. In other words, the Holy Christ self serves as a step down transformer. So as an act of mercy, Jesus Christ or the in fact right now I'm talking about, as an act of mercy, the mediator holds the heavy duty karma until we are ready to receive them. Okay, and he releases our middle jiva, our atma releases those in increments, those heavy karmas in increments, so that we can balance them. And when we are ready and we are able to handle, we will receive them, and we will be able to, so we will be able to balance them. So the Holy Christ self gives us the knowledge on how to balance our karmas. That, as I told you already, we'll get various intuitions through our our inner child and our intuition, and that is nothing but our higher self. So we are told that at the time of the transition of Ramakrishna, most of you would be knowing Ramakrishna. So he did not balance his 100% karma. Ramakrishna is a great saint who passed away in the late 1900 century. Okay, so late 1900 century, and he is a ascended master. Krishna transitioned from his body, he did not balance 100% of his karma. At that time, there was a requirement to balance 100% of the karma. So we are talking around 150 years ago. Okay, so he took his final embodiment in the West and followed the teachings of the I Am movement and used the violet flame to balance his 100% karma. So I'm telling you this because of a reason. So presently, people have been given a gift of violet flame. Now, this wasn't there around 200 years ago. Violet flame is a gift which is given to us. Violet flame is a tool which helps us to balance our karma. So you may not write because this is being recorded. So you'll receive this recording. You can listen to it later also. Violet flame is a gift which is given to us to balance our karmas. And that was taken away from us. But very recently, around 200 plus years ago, it was given back to us by one of the, like us. There was a messenger who had really reached to a final stage of his balancing of karmas. His name is Godfrey, and his twin flame Lotus. They both resided in Chicago in the US, and they were given this dispensation through masters, through Saint El Moria, that the violet flame is being reintroduced around 200 years ago. So since then we have got this violet flame. It's a fire yoga, like we have other 4 yogas, right? We know all the 4 yogas, which is our senses and our mind and our physical body, and reintegrating all of them is Raja Yoga. And this is another form of yoga, the 4th form, which is called as the fire yoga, or maybe the 5th form. So at that point of time, we were given this gift of violet flame. Using the violet flame, because Ramakrishna, he made his transition in some early 1900, which is 150 years ago. He had to come back and again live an embodiment in the West and work as a I Am movement member. And he used violet flame to balance his 100% karma. So now using this violet flame, we can fasten the pace of balancing of our karma. This is what I wanted to tell you. That one element which I was going to share with you is this. So thanks to Saint Germain, Ascended Master Saint Germain, who went before the cosmic councils, requested them, he offered them his jewels. Jewels means his attainment as a collateral, that he promises that people will not misuse it because it was misused earlier. And then he brought this to us. So we must connect with Saint Germain, very, very compassionate master. And on behalf of all the people on the earth to allow, he asked the cosmic council on the behalf of all the people on the earth to allow them to balance their karma to the degree of 51%. Please remember this. This is another good news which is happening in this era of Jesus Christ, or just beyond that. So this is another good news. There are so many good news that I'm giving you, okay? We do not have to balance 100% karma, but only if we balance 51% of karma, we would be able to reach our ascension, which means it is a very powerful encouragement for us. So with the use of violet flame, fire yoga, and with the knowledge that which I am sharing with you from Ascended Masters, we can be very strong, or we can feel confident, spiritual confidence, to work on our balancing of karmas. Okay, that's what I wanted to share with you in the beginning. So we only need to balance 51% of karma. Now God allowed people to balance 51% of karma while in the embodiment, and they can balance the remaining 49 when they are in the ascended state. So this is also important. We need to continue. It's not that that everything is over, but we need to balance. So again, now we're talking about the new age. This is the new age, okay, where you and me are there. This information was not available openly to everybody. It was there with only some saints, people who had guarded this information from others for many years. And I have spoken about this in the previous lectures, that this information was hidden, and only those ones whose names we know are were the ones who were aware, like Ascended Masters, who could value it, because we were not in the state of consciousness where we could actually use it properly. This is a very beautiful age, because we are going to be reuniting with the golden age, apparently, because our energies are really increasing. The planetary shift in the energy is huge, and most of us are getting clear about the facade of the duality, or the facade of the creation of this delusion of duality of life. That's what we are coming. So many of us are coming to this realization of lately, not much many years before, but of lately it's becoming very apparent. I would say as early as maybe last 20 years or so, maybe, but it's very apparent in the last 20, 30, 40 years, and more people are, right? And that is why the Aquarian age is a very distinct age in the history of the whole of cosmic clock. Okay, the whole of different eras which we have gone through in the history of our own earth, the new earth. So now in the current age, which is called as the Aquarian age, the master of the Aquarian age is Saint Germain, right? We are blessed to use these tools and get so much knowledge about the karma balance and about the use of these violet flame and the gifts that we have. Now I am here to ask you, how does one create positive karma, or what it means to live a life of God's will. Okay, how do we create a positive karma? How does one, what does it mean to live a life of God's will? Well, it's
To
a very
sharpen our intuition so that we are able to get messages from our higher self and work according to that.
yes, true, exactly. That's the way to get connected to God's will, when we can sharpen our energies, get into the higher state of energies, and be more in the mode of surrender, and hear our intuitions. That's true. I want to introduce a concept of the motive of the heart. Okay, it was also touched upon in the last to last session, which happened on I think uh, I think early January, which was on love and joy. So if you can visit that session, it will be really helpful, because we have spoken about this in depth. Because each statement has its own explanation. It's very scientific. I believe in understanding things in a more scientific fashion, and wherever it's the possibility reduces to understand, there I give myself surrender, and then I learn it through experience. So my intention is that it should be imbibed in life. At least I'm just making an attempt. Now, motive of the heart is to be monitored. What do you mean by that? It means to keep the right heart. What do you mean by that? Motive is the thread which our higher self uses for underpinning our thoughts, words, feelings, actions from the core of our heart. What does it mean? Is it enough if I do a wallet film decree, and if I donate food, if I feed the poor people, and if I donate big sums of money to other people, uh, and I'm doing a lot of things. I'm feeding dogs, or I'm feeding cats, and or the different birds, whatever. Is that enough? I'm asking. Is it enough? Well, do we truly forgive others? And this is another question. And do we truly forgive ourselves? Do we understand the meaning of pure love? Is it not what you are doing, humanly speaking? It is what is going through your mind. So the pivot is what is going through your and my mind, and what is the feelings and thoughts that we carry 24/7. Yeah. So here is the moment where our defense mechanism takes over right away, because we are questioned, because we are challenged, because we are in a front of confrontation right now. But here is where I'm reminding you to continue to be open, open in your heart and in your mind, to let this thought go deeper inside you. Okay, our motive of the heart is much beyond our physical actions that we do, and which we consider as that we have done, as being the ones who are making a positive impact, or for or the ones who are sane. Okay, it is the motive of the heart, eventually what is going behind our mind, what are the thoughts that we the thoughts and the feelings that we keep 24/7 in a day. Are these divine thoughts, and are these divine feelings as the sons and daughters of God? Are they pure? Do we understand the meaning of pureness? So these questions we need to ask us ourselves every single day. Is the questions like, am I connected to my higher self 24/7 in the day, 24 hours in a day? God is telling you always what you must do and what is happening in your body, and all the actions become the subset of this higher realization. So we have to be observing ourselves. We may be doing so many good deeds, as I mentioned that, we are feeding the hungry and doing all that through our lifetime. We are spending their lifetime, but we still could forget if our thoughts and feelings are connected to the higher self. So what is most important? So it is an important point to find the answers from within, inside out, and not outside in. When we go from inside out, then we get all the answers because we are the sons and daughters of God. I am that I am. I am that, which is God. I am that I am. I am God. We get our answers from our inside out, not from outside in. Repeating myself. What is going inside our mind, our thoughts, our feelings? How are we feeling is very important. What do you what are we thinking? What is going on around inside us? What is going on about God inside us? Not merely, feeding these people hungry and, doing some actions. It's not enough. It's not beneficial. It is okay, but it's not enough. That is merely a stepping stone, my friends. It's merely a stepping stone. Please hear this carefully. The goal is of our life is to reach the top level. The top level is connect with our I am presence. Okay, which is by connecting to our higher self and then connecting to our I am presence. And many people they reach to a state where they they become righteous. Like in the village there are some chaudharis. There are some people get to a pedestal. Hey, I feed 100 cats a day, or so many birds a day, and I've done so much. So they become they create a title and they become righteous. Now they are righteous. Now they are no more listening. They are no more really worried about how others feel. The righteousness takes over because they are doing already enough. हो गया अभी बात कर रहा हूं मैं. They can feel angry on others because they are being right. The others don't know. They are less. They are more. So that aspect of us, which allows us to be in a position, hold a position. It could be mental position or it could be a title that people have given. Now we become some title. That is the dweller on the threshold. Our motive of the hearts. I'm telling you, I'm speaking from my life. I feel a big element of I feel that there is a big amount of work to be done in my solar plexus because I can feel that I'm carrying this in my lower belt. Because I don't know from how many ages, it could be many ages, but this lifetime I have been given this opportunity. I have rage in me which is beyond comprehension. I don't know. I have reworked on it, working on it. It has, to some degree or percentage improved, but it's a work in progress. And all of us are work in progress from that aspect. So for us, we have to find out what it is and face our demons. We don't have to let them hide. Remember this, my friends, please remember. If you listen to the last lecture where I've spoken about last lecture about fear, it will knock your socks off. How you can confront fear. Sister was there, Sister Nalini was there. So you remember, right? How we were talking about how fear is not real, right? How its appearance is unreal. It's just a confrontation that we need to have. How much ever uncomfortable it is, we just need to confront it. It is really not real. But we are happy to be resigned. We are walking dead. We are not alive. We are not awake. We are sleeping. Some people continue to sleep for lifetimes. Then they wake up after many lifetimes. They're doing good, earning money, that's all okay. No doubts about it. Rich and famous and intelligent. But they're sleeping. Anyways, my tone is to wake you up. It's not to make my point, because the point is going to be the same. So I will play a very nice video. It's not a video, sorry, it's an audio. Maybe I could play a video, but I'll have to check. It might take more time, but let me just try. There's a very nice video on the element of karma and rebirth cycle. So it is going to be around 10 minutes. So please be, attentive on this one. Let me quickly play this. For that, I'll have to reshare the video. I'm sharing the sound, and I'll quickly share the video also. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's listen to this audio, okay? And I'll just keep I am presence screen on the sharing.
Atlantis was a team positive victory in this life.
Okay, I'm sharing the screen of Elizabeth Clare Prophet, but I'm going to be playing a audio in the background. Okay, please listen to this keenly.
Atlantis was a teeming continent with great advances in science and technology. Many of our scientists have brought back the same inventions that they patented on Atlantis. Many of the songwriters from Broadway were writing those same songs long ago on Atlantis. Talent, then, is cumulative. We bring back our talents, we bring back our memories, and we often patent the same inventions that we patented in another age. According to Eastern teachings, karma necessitates rebirth because you can't reap all the effects of your karma in a single lifetime. Perhaps if you did, it would simply wipe you out then and there. And so God is merciful and has always been merciful to us. And this is why we are sitting here today. This is why we are able to speak to one another and discuss these subjects, because we are the issue in the sea of a merciful God who loves us and whose ideal for us is not punishment, is not harsh judgment, but is opportunity for us to learn our lessons. And sometimes when we refuse to learn those lessons, we get a karmic spanking, the return of our own karma. And so, since there is not time enough in one life to experience the return of or the compensation for all the good or the bad that you have done, then we must come back multiple times. And these times are stretched out into ages, because we must re-embody at the same time as others are re-embodying with whom we have karma, or a mission, or a project to complete. And so it takes many cycles, going full circle in the records of time, in the ages and the centuries, before the stage is set once again for us to be with the same group of people that we were with, where we made our karma, good or bad, in the first place. There is a misunderstanding among some in the West that the Eastern concept of karma is fatalistic. I think some theologians like to make us think that that's what they think, so that they can tell us that it is fatalistic. I think it is very clear when we study the Eastern religions that there is nothing at all fatalistic about karma. But such people say to me, "Oh, you believe in karma and reincarnation. You'll be taking another 1,000,000 years before you get to God." Well, that might be standard Hinduism, but it's not the standard teaching of the Ascended Masters, who come to tell us that there is a tremendous acceleration at the end of this century, entering the new age, the new astrological sign of Aquarius. And in Aquarius, we have tremendous opportunity to balance karma by the flame of Aquarius, the violet flame, and under the tutelage of Saint Germain, who is the great teacher of Aquarius. So when people say that to me, I say, oh no, that's not my concept of karma or of God or of Jesus Christ. I also believe in grace. I believe in the grace of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I believe in that Christ, that only begotten Son of God, depicted in the chart of the presence, that one Christ is a portion to each one of us. Jesus demonstrated this profound mystery symbolically when he broke the bread. The bread is the whole loaf of the Christ, the universal Christ that he embodied. And each piece he gave to the disciples, and he gives to us each time we take communion, is that crumb of life. The crumb of life contains the whole loaf, the whole Christ consciousness. And that crumb is that figure, that presence, that love that is with us always, of the Holy Christ self, the divine mediator. And so with the help of the mediator, the universal one and the very personal one in Jesus, and the one whom God gave to me and to you, I trust that I shall and will balance my karma in this life, and I trust that you will also. So some people think that Hindus believe that there's no way out of your karma, that you'll be re-embodying here for so long that it might as well be forever, which renders kind of null and void the concept of karma, because it is so long in coming back and so long in returning that long is almost never, so you start not worrying about karma at all under this view. But it's really not today's teaching of Hinduism or Buddhism. The Hindu teaching on karma, as described in the Ramakrishna Vedanta word book, is that fruits of karma are reaped in the form of happiness or misery according to the nature of each thought or act. Although each person imposes upon himself the limitation of his own character, as determined by his past thoughts and actions, at the same time he has a choice. This is what Saint Germain and the Ascended Masters have been telling us again and again and again for years, because so many of us are the victims of predestination, of a fatalistic type of consciousness. What will be, and we have nothing to say about it. Free will comes from the divine spark. It comes from the presence of Christ, or the light, the anointed one with us. Christ is not necessarily a Christian term. It is the Greek word that means anointed. The anointed one, the real self of us. And so, by that presence of God with us, by the I am presence that we can see in the chart of the presence, we understand that every single day and moment we exercise free will. We make a decision to be constructive or destructive, or somewhere in between, neutral. Of course, there is no neutrality in life, so we better decide which side we're on and take a strong stand for that side. Free will, then, is the means whereby we make good karma or negative karma. Free will is the pivot of existence and true being. Free will makes us sons and daughters of God, instead of mechanization man, automatons, or robot created by Atlantean or present-day scientists. We have to understand that free will is our capacity to become God, to become the full manifestation of God when we have our victory. Devotion to God, enhancing good karmas and mitigating evil ones, begins to loosen the bonds of karma. When a man achieves illumination, his acts cease to produce karmas. And so we have a choice when karma descends. We can either follow the tendency of our karma and of our past, which is written also in our astrology, or we can challenge it. We can struggle against it. We can say, I'm not the victim of my stars or my fate or my past karma. I am a new being. I am a new creature in Christ. And as I stand, so I stand. And this day I determine that I will be all love in action. And if I hated my neighbor yesterday, I will love my neighbor today. That is my free will, and I summon the will of God to assist me to change the course, the set of my sails for a positive victory in this life. You have the freedom to do this today, to make your decision, to take a vow to God, to be who you are, and to fulfill your destiny. And so free will allows us to look at a terrible karma that has descended upon us and decide how we will respond to it. It's not what happens to us in life, it's how we react to it that makes all the difference. We wake up one morning and we find that our wife has left with our children, our husband has disappeared, or our house is burned down, or our business is destroyed. Calamities come upon people. But because we have free will, we can say, I will not be moved by this karma. I understand it as a blessing and as a teaching, and I will take my lessons from it. I will overcome it. I will get beyond it. I will contact my God. I will cry out to my God as the psalmist did, and he will hear me. He will not fail me now. So we should never point the finger at people who have had adversity and say, aha, his karma descended upon him. He must be a bad person. Gautama Buddha attacked Makahali Gosala, a contemporary teacher, for holding a fatalistic predestinationism, which denied that man's actions had any influence in determining his future. His affirmation of being justified or being judged by thy words. The statement remains true to this hour, and so does the entire Sermon on the Mount, which is full of comparisons of actions and effects, causes and effects. And if we are accountable for every idle word that we speak, how much are we accountable for every act, the state of mind or mindlessness that precedes the act, or the desire that impels it? If we know that we're going to have an accident when we drink and get drunk and take people out in the car, and we do, and they are killed, our karma began when we took that drink. If we know we're going to be absolutely mindless under the influence of drugs, and we take those drugs, we are accountable for our actions under those drugs, because we took the drugs to begin with. That was a karmic act. It was a decision. The law of karma gives us sound reason to control our tongues, as well as our uncontrolled thoughts and feelings that propel our tongues. The Sermon on the Mount is a treasure trove of the law of karma. Jesus states the mathematical precision of the law of karma. With what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. Short your neighbor on his bag of flour, don't give him the whole pound, and you will be shorted yourself in bigger ways and more serious ways at a time that is very inconvenient for you, when you need all that you can get. Therefore all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Jesus is saying that the golden rule, do unto others as ye would have them do unto you, is the law of karma taught by the prophets. So Jesus affirmed this law of reincarnation and karma taught in the Old Testament, yet the Christian Church, from the Church Fathers all the way to the present leadership, has not acknowledged the record of Jesus' teaching on this subject. Rather, the prelates have vehemently denied it.
I hope you could be present for the whole of the session. It was a very nice 10 minutes talk. And I hope it was you were able to resonate with this talk, because she's pointing to the same elements that we have spoken, and it's very the way she has spoken is very fierce, and because she's talking the messages of the ascended masters. So she's just saying that the true meaning of the descending of the karma, when it is when we give up our desires, our cravings, our attachments of things, like money, success, relationships, house, happy moments, happy homes, and so many. While we still know that we need all this, and that it is and it must be provided to us. But when we start craving, when we start desiring of something that is inordinate or non-essential to our victory, so then from such actions and thoughts, we create a discord in our heart, or we create a discord in the motives of our heart. So having a right heart is very important. So in this case, we lose our pure connection with God's will and we get trapped into the human ego, the lower impulses and the thought forms. We need to understand we must take accountability of feathering and spreading the corruptness and impurity around the world. So every thought has an impact. Every thought before it takes an action. She said when we took a decision to consume alcohol, itself we created a karma. We took a decision to have drugs, we created a karma before it actually started to impact others also. So why did we do the meditation in the beginning? How is that meditation relevant today in the karma lesson? It's because every thought has a level of impact on us. So we must learn to dissociate with thoughts which are not benefiting. We must learn to dissociate with every thought. And when we reach to a state of nothingness, we allow to move beyond our mind. And that is a time when we allow ourselves to surrender ourselves to the infinite, to the divineness. And we start receiving messages. Okay. So I think there is so much to speak about, but we can talk about other things about why the punishment of karma happens, of the idea that if we have been bad before they're going on, then we would be suffering. So all that we can continue, and the consequences of all that. And I want to tell you that this thought of punishment has come from, this is one more consequence of the teachings of the hellfire, and this is and of the damnation and the concepts that have been propounded by the Lucifer or the dark forces or the dwellers to thwart the true Christian doctrine. I mean, use Christian or Krishna, use any name, but the true doctrine of the God's will. Karma is not a punishment, it's a returning of simply the law of cause and effect. So every wrong has an impact on us. So we must anticipate a joyous opportunity in the future to undo that wrong rather than complaining about it. Open arms, accept it with open arms. And we have to seize that opportunity with rejoicing, because there is a chance of balancing the debt in our life. Returning karma is the glorious opportunity for us to be free, for us to learn the law of non-attachment, non-possessiveness, and to realize the effects of the causes we have sent out. It is the altogether natural and proper that we should be able to receive. Okay, we should be able to be on a receiving end. And whatever we have sent out, we must be ready to receive. We should take the accountability. So this is what I wanted to say. If we have sent out love, we have a right to receive the love. If we have sent out hatred, we should, or sadness, we should have the right to receive it. So that's going to come back. And it also comes back, we shouldn't have any sense of unjust. This is unjust to us. Unfortunately, many see the law of God as a law of disaffection and disavowal. They envision God who has no use for us, but simply the lawgiver who stands ready to strike mankind with his rod of punishment. But God does not deal with our karma to us as a punishment. Karma is a manifestation of an impersonal law as well as a personal one. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you. We must understand that until the day comes when we recognize the law of God as the law of love, we will probably encounter very difficult times. We will encounter difficulties. But if we will only hasten that days coming into our own life, we will recognize that karma is actually grace and it is a beauty of joy. Okay, so I would like to play, I would like to do a quick decree before we finish the session for today. And this decree is a violet flame decree. It starts with, I am a flame of violet. I am the violet flame in action in me now. I'll share the screen and you can read it from the screen. But all of us should do it because I'm playing it in the sound of Elizabeth Clare Prophet. All of us should do it in a lip syncing along with her. Why we do it today with lip syncing along with her is because we are learning. We are in the process of learning right now. So that is why it's wise that we lip sync with her. We will understand the tone and the rhythm in which it has to be done. The words have to be spoken clearly. The words have to be in a commanding tone. We must bring our situation in front of us. Like my situation of finances in front of me, harmony, all around harmony in front of me. So you bring your situation in front of you, be present to that situation, and imagine that we are encapsulated in the big capsule of violet flame, which is 9 inches in the diameter, a sphere of violet flame, which is 9 inches in the diameter, and within that sphere, concentric sphere, is a white light sphere, which is of 6 inches in diameter. Imagine that we are in that kind of a sphere. We are covered with that sphere, white light, and then violet light, and with that we will start the violet flame decree. It's very quick. It will not take more than 5 minutes. So are we ready? Sorry about extending it by around 40 minutes today, but if you all are ready, then we can play this. Also, we can end the session, however is okay with you. Okay with everybody, seems okay, right?
Yeah.
Manju
Okay.
also says okay, and yeah, then we are playing. Okay, so sharing my screen. You will hear the audio. Start the prayer as soon as you hear the audio, and I'm going to be sharing the screen, so you will be able to read through the screen. Please read through the screen and continue to do it. Would you want to switch off your video and do it? Unmute and do it. You're most welcome to unmute and do it if you wish to do so. So I'm just sharing this screen, and let me know if you can see the screen. You can. Okay. And now I'm going to be playing the audio. Please follow her words and do it along with her. Please. Let's start. Yeah.
So with the coming of Saint Germain's dispensation for the Aquarian age, we had the sponsorship of America, you have the sponsorship of Australia, and many freedom movements have come forth. His aura, his presence. This master, if you can really comprehend the meaning of the master, is so profound and has such attainment, his aura fills the planet. And he does keep the action of freedom in every type of situation, be it education or science. As you know, he is the father of that science. But the violet flame is the key to action. We have a lot of people today who like to talk about things. Even politics has become metaphysical. We are seized with our theories. We think we know the way things should be done, but they don't stand the test of practical action. They don't work. The violet flame sees to it that we are charged with what works. What works is what is right, as long as its purpose is to glorify God in you and Christ in all people. So the violet flame is like that whistle, that tremendous wind of the Holy Spirit that takes from us everything else but what is necessary to get this world in shape. So I want to tell you from my personal experience, I know all of you have an intense desiring of your heart to do more for people, for life, to become more of who you are. And I know what that desiring is, and I know you wouldn't be here if you didn't have it. And the step, the giant step into the path of really the masterful presence of your godhood, the giant step into the Great White Brotherhood, from the former to the new age, is the violet flame. So let's do it. The proof is in the pudding.
On your
I commend you to the great joy of this practice daily. Remember, when you say I am, you're saying God in me is. This is page 2, I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. I am the violet flame in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. I am the violet flame in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. That's 3 ways to give that decree. It's your choice. They're all correct. Just depends on building a momentum. I'm using a funnel of air from the seat of the soul chakra up to my throat chakra to give this decree. The power is the power of all of my chakras, all 7, at work simultaneously, releasing that sacred fire in the focus of the spoken word. I am the violet flame in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. I am the violet flame in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. Now you have the mantra, I am a being of violet fire. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. Then we have the lovely God presence, violet flame decree. More violet fire, page 6. This has a very special rhythm. The power of this decree is in the spoken word and the rhythm. Loving God presence, I am in me. Hear me now, I do decree. Rid of past each blessing for which I call upon the Holy Christ self of each and all. Let violet fire of freedom roll round the world to make all whole. Saturate the earth and its people too with increasing Christ's radiance shining through. I am this section from God above, sustained by the hand of heavens, love transmuting the causes of discord, here removing the cause of the undue fear. I am the full power of freedom's love, raising all earth to heaven above. Violet fire now blazing bright in living beauty is God's own light, which right now and forever sets the world, myself, and all life eternally free in ascended master perfection. Almighty I am, almighty I am, almighty I am.
Okay, so that pretty much sums up, and thank you for staying back. So I do apologize for this delay. Today we actually exceeded by 40 minutes. So, but I really appreciate you still sticking around and being so patiently allowing your time, presence, being here. But I'm happy to take up any questions in case you do have.
So I understood the thing that you showed, that picture you showed for what the Christ age offered us by Christ mediating for us. How is that now in Aquarian age? Has an addition of violet fire there in that picture, and where is it?
Yeah, the connection of violet fire is basically through our chakras.
Okay.
So we have a crystal cord, and usually the crystal cord is connected through our 3/4 flame. So our threefold flame, you will have to visit earlier lectures to actually really understand it's a science. But I'll answer you very briefly. But you can deep dive into it if you wish, and you can do your research. Also, you can listen to the lecture in which I have explained this. So the threefold flame is basically our connection with the God, and threefold flame also is the opportunity for us to expand on our major threefold flame is the core which
I
helps us
understand
to move
people.
forward to our ascension. So it
I
has,
understand people. Violet,
yeah. So
yellow,
threefold flame has three color. It has pink color,
yellow,
which
pink,
is,
and violet.
yeah,
Yeah.
pink is for love, and yellow is for wisdom, and blue is for power. So the combination of threefold flame changes different god energies. It can be made into violet, it can be made into purple, it can be made into gold, it can be made into green. By changing these colors, we are changing the god qualities. But this threefold flame is our core connection or our opportunity to uh, fine tune our god quality. So this is a gift which has been given to us, okay, along with our causal body. So this is also something which if you can spare some time, earlier lectures I have explained about the causal body and threefold flame in depth. But threefold flame essentially is our connection with our middle figure, and from the middle figure also further towards our I am presence. There are people who become soulless, whose threefold flame is extinguished, and it becomes very difficult, not impossible, but it takes up a lot of effort to reignite the threefold flame. So idea is there was golden age when the threefold flame was equal to the size of our being. So our bodies were more etheric, they were not physical like right now. We were not in the process of struggling to earn money to for our livelihood. That was not our agenda. We used to think and we used to receive. We think of food, we used to get food. We used to think of having flowers, we receive flowers. So violet flame was doing all that. Now the thing is that our threefold flame is reduced to 1/16th of an inch. Earlier, when we were in the etheric, form, our height was 9 feet, and our threefold flame was also 9 feet. Okay, and right now the threefold flame is 1/16th of an inch. We can expand our threefold flame. It can expand to, become the size of our own body. It needs a deep practice. So our connection to our I am presence is through the crystal cord, and using the violet flame we actually get reconnected with our higher self. Basically we are helping to balance our karmas, we are helping to clear our karmas, and then it also helps to balance basically clear our chakras. So when our chakras are clear, we receive, when our, this, so to say, the cup is empty and we have a direct connection with the source, which is the nectar, will we not receive more? So we start receiving. It's very important to clear our chakras, and through violet flame decrease, that helps us to cleanse our chakras. It's a very good question that you asked, actually. So it helps to clear our chakras, it helps to balance our karmas, and it helps to also recreate our various issues in life. Violet flame is the, it is, it is mentioned by ascended masters, the violet flame is the shortest distance between a problem and a solution. So what is the shortest distance between a problem, between 2 points? It is a straight line, correct? Violet flame is a straight line between the 2 points. It's the shortest distance between 2 points. So problem and solution we are considering as 2 points. So I think I've answered your question, or you have?
Yes, thank you so much. No, thank you so much.
Okay. You're welcome. Yeah. Any other questions? Nice to have you, Renee. You joined. Good, finally. Any other questions?
Really, thank you very much. It was very enlightening. I do practice magnified healing, but there was something which was not clear, and some doubts have connected for me today.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
If you allow me, I can speak for 30 seconds about the modalities that we practice, including magnified healing.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So Ascended Masters have said that we practice different modalities. Just give me one moment, please. My dog doesn't listen if we don't listen to her. We have to talk to her. Okay. So Ascended Masters have said that practicing any modality which is lesser than the teachings which have been given by the Ascended Masters is basically doing one thing. It's doing a couple of things, but one of the things which it is doing is, which also includes Reiki and magnified healing, is that it pushes our balancing of karmas from our physical body to our lower etheric body. And so there is a concept of balancing of energy, which is basically energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change from one form to another, which means transmuted, right? So by doing different modalities, including magnified healing, we are shifting our energies, balancing our energies, our healing process and our karma balancing to the lower etheric plane. So the lower etheric plane is more close to the embodiment of human. We are existing in four different levels. Okay, etheric, mental, emotional, and physical. Okay, and then the higher levels are basically the Atman, and then the I am presence and the causal body. Those are three higher levels. We can also access them, but we are more closely connected to these. So lower etheric body is coming within these four levels. So what happens is that when the karma or the healing gets shifted to the higher etheric body, then we feel better, we feel healed, we feel great relationships. But it is, so to say, it is only in a state of transition, of it is parked in a state of transition. It is not evaporated, it is not transmuted. Sometimes we receive it back in the same lifetime. Sometimes when we are not in a position to capacity to receive, we receive it in the other lifetime, but it comes back. So the only way we can transmute the energies is by using the violet flame, or we can use the other flames, which is green flame, yellow flame, pink flame, and so on and so forth. There are different flames, 7 different colors. So it's a very scientific thing. Sorry, but it's a little disappointment, but this is a truth. And I have done my magnified healing, some time back. It's been 2 years more. So all that, but I cannot avoid speaking the truth. It has to come. So it's not to make somebody feel good or bad, but the truth is there. So we must speak. That's all it is. Nothing more.
Must.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Does it answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Thank you. So does a baby or a child has a karma? Yes, they don't experience karma until they are 14 years old, but they do have their own karma, which they must work on when they grow beyond 14 years, when they turn 14. Okay. So we must encourage the children to learn good things, and there is something called as divine ego, and there is something called as human ego. Divine ego is nothing but the use of the mind and the physical body in the divine order. A human ego is something which is use of the mind and the body in the human order. They both are different. When you go to when you go to a school, or when you listen to some good saint, they always tell you to bow to the elders. They teach you certain good things. I'm not talking about everything, but that certain good things, like being respectful, being in the state of being positive in life. Like, if I have to come and meet you today, I must be my best self, how much ever I can. It's not that I can be like somebody who is so good in speaking. I may not be a good orator. I may not be as courteous and soft spoken as somebody else, so and so forth. But I can be the best of myself. So the intention is to be the best of yourself. How you can be your best of yourself is by by doing what best you can do. Remember, don't forget that. You can
I
always
think
say, I am not as good as that person, but you can be best of yourself. So being the best
intention
of
has to be,
yourself.
the intention has to be pure.
Yes, this is the crux. The crux is that can our hearts be in the right order? Because our hearts are they are the opening gate. They are the opening gate of really making the movement step. This is the first shift in our in our journey towards moksha, or in our journey towards learning the God qualities. Very important. Having a pure motive of heart. So it's not one time, it happens gradually. I just want to inform you, whatever we are learning, it's this is called as a multi-dimensional teaching. It's a non-linear, it's not like our school academics where we learn step by step. It is a non-linear learning, and you will learn at different stages. So whatever we are listening now, if we revisit, we might understand it differently. And it's also multi-dimensional. We understand one dimension right now. What about the other dimensions? So it's happening in a multi-dimension way, and it's also happening non-linearly. Like it doesn't matter today. I have learned this much. You could have learned, which people might take years to learn, lifetimes to learn. So it doesn't have any calculation of physical time. It's not a time bound activity. Okay, so at what age one starts making a karmic account? I told you at 14 years age. Thank you so much, Sister Nalini. Will have to exit. Okay, yeah, sure. Let's wind up. So, Banita Kukreja, I will send you the invite. Also, you can see the invite here right now. I'm sending it in the group. This is the invite. Oh, okay. One second. I will send the invite right away. I'm sharing it in the group for the better of everybody. But then I have your phone number, so I can use that also to share it with you across. But let me share it with everybody right away. Give me a moment. Okay. Okay, it's maybe it's okay. Let's wind up. It's taking time. Let's wind up. So, any other questions?
Sorry, just a second. The teachings are Ascendant Masters available in any PDF form or
Yeah.
book form?
Let me share the link
Can
with you,
share it. Yeah,
because
please.
yeah, I would like to also maybe if today it's a little if we don't have enough
No,
time today, we can do
anytime
it
you can,
some other day.
anytime
But
you
then
can.
I would also like to inform you that all of you can join the the Summit Lighthouse and become keeper of the flame.
Okay.
So in doing so, you would actually receive a lot of lessons from the Summit Lighthouse. Some of them are free, but then you can take up membership. Minimum membership is I think $10 a month, and you should start with the minimum membership. It's around 700 plus rupees monthly. So it is affordable, and I suggest that you should join that, because you will receive so many what do you call that, lessons. But there are some free lessons also, which if you would like, I can share it with you. Free lessons. Let me share the link of the free lessons here. Give me one moment. Yeah. So this is the group which you can join. This is the group. You all can join this. Banita, you can join this group. You can use this link and join. And I'll give you the free lessons right away. 1 second. So what you can do is you can listen to these free lessons. Also, you can join as a keeper of the flame. But more, that's one aspect of it. But other than that, what you can do is you can also learn. I all my research has been done through the website. So you can actually visit the website and do your self study. It's very important.
The teaching us karma, how to nullify our karma, what is it available in your for further reading?
Yes, of course. All I have shared here is coming from my research from the website itself. I will share you the
As per Hindu Dharma, we have to take birth to
Yes.
nullify both the karmas, whether it is good or bad.
Yes, we have to take birth, but at the same time, we didn't know this.
Yeah. Now
Sir, one second, but your name, I have to remember it now.
Devasiga Mani.
Gami. Okay.
Mani. Devasiga Mani.
Devasiga Mani. Devasiga Mani. Do you have a nickname?
You make it Mani. M-A-N-I, easy.
Mani. So Mani, the thing is that we did not know that we have to balance only 51% karma.
Yeah, correct.
We also did not know that we receive lessons according to our capacity.
Yeah.
No lesson we cannot pass.
Yeah.
So which means we are always going to succeed.
Yeah.
But our ego will not let us succeed.
Yeah.
We have to drop our ego and surrender to God. Ask for His intervention. Have to come from a pure heart. Tomorrow, if somebody does something wrong, if we start with the same token, in justice we might prove right, but in the law of karma, we will not be able to balance. In the spiritual enlightenment aspect, there is something called as enlightened self-interest. In the enlightened self-interest, we will not have really moved forward. We might have gone a little more back.
Okay.
Understand what I'm saying, right? Yeah. So this is the group you can, this is a free lesson you can take. This is called as Pearls of Freedom. Okay, this is a free lesson you can take. It's a very nice one. Then you can take this as a free lesson. This is for chakra. I encourage you to take this lesson, because what you learn in this, you will not learn anywhere else, because this is very different. Then this is the third one, which is about archangels. You must learn about archangels. Who are those archangels?
Okay.
I'll repaste it because
first I'm hearing about ascended masters and all.
Yeah. Okay. I too heard only 10 months ago, sir.
Okay. So can you share all these links in the WhatsApp message?
So then there is one. Yeah, of course. Why not?
Please do that.
Yeah, I will. I will do it.
Yeah, please share in the WhatsApp, sir.
Thank you.
That's better.
You can join the WhatsApp group and you will receive it in the WhatsApp group also. Okay. So
please join me also in the WhatsApp group, sir.
I have sent the link, sir. You can just join the link.
Okay.
I'll send it again. 1 minute.
Okay.
This is the last link you can use and join the group.
Okay.
Because I don't have your number, no? How can I invite you? I only have one number, which of course I will. You
send the link. I'll join it.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question?
No, it's a big subject. We have to talk hours and days. Thank you, sir. I think you have put a lot of effort to enlighten us. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure, sir. I receive it and hand it over to my presence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time. Thank you. I really appreciate you gave your time and you gave your attention. And it is very precious that you gave.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a nice Sunday. Have a nice lunch. Sorry for the delay.
Breakfast, having breakfast.
Oh, you have amazing continue with your weekend.
Yeah,
Good.
and then I have to join
start for the weekend.
Now.
Yeah, let me do a quick closing prayer because it's important.
Thank you.
And I forgot actually. I will just quickly do it. I have just shared the audio. Oh, I have just shared the screen also. Okay, I'll share it again. Okay, so this is the closing prayer. Okay, yeah. So I'll play the sound now.
Light of the eternal spheres, Elohim of God, beloved Hercules and Amazonia with us, seal us in the Emmanuel, seal us in the light of Sanat Kumara, Seal now the emergent grail of each one. Seal the flaming potential of the soul, the heart and the mind, and the physical foundation thereof, the mental, the etheric, and the feeling world. Seal these hearts with living fire. Seal them now as we sing to the Ancient of Days, Sanat Kumara. Fill our grail, fill us now, Sanat Kumara, and let us be a living replica of the chalice of Elohim and of the Ancient of Days. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Mother, we accept it on this hour in full power.
Amen. Say Amen.
Amen.
Accepting this prayer. Hi, Renee. Okay, good to see you. Yeah. Okay, you're on mute.
Yeah, okay. I said fabulous lecture.
Thank you.
Amazing. But I was so caught up in a whole lot of things, I had little parts of it.
No problem. Okay, you can hear it again later.
Yeah, do you have it somewhere? Have you recorded?
Yes, I have recorded it.
And I
I'll share the
also
link.
yeah, I have loads of questions. And I feel you have the answers. Oh my God, I'm very impressed. You're becoming a master.
No, I'm just like you, and we are all at initiate levels. So I just took up this vow that while I'm walking this path, I'll spread the word. That's all. Nothing
That's
else.
wonderful. I was
And
just
my
thinking.
intention is that all of you spread the word because it's important. Isn't it important if we learn this, we spread the word? We must share this, right?
Yes, that's what I felt. You're
Even
doing a
pain.
service. You're doing a fabulous service to so many people.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's the
Wonderful.
God, it's God doing it through me. Yeah.
Yes. Using, well, you're blessed if he uses you as
Yeah.
a catalyst, to spread his word. You're very blessed.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'll
you.
answer your question. I'll speak to you. You can call me.
All right.
All of you are welcome to do that, in fact. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay,
Akash.
bye-bye. Thank you, everybody. It was a
Bye.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye.
Namaste.
Have a nice